Hello, guys. This is your friend and brother Chilian. It's been a while. I haven't made a video and connected with you all, but hey, it's 2026, and I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you had a fantastic holiday and you're looking forward to a great and objective New Year 2026. Um, on the 31st of December 2025, I was listening to a friend, Evangelist Gilbert Samba, and he was sharing a message, and his message was titled The Biggest Problem in the Church. But my focus is not really on the title of his message. My focus is on something that he emphasized on, which is very profound. So, from a Christian perspective, my friend Evangelist Gilbert Samba was saying that a lot of Christians, a lot of pastors focus on what they can do for Christ, like focus on their ministry, focus on what they can do for Christ, as opposed to focus on how well are they being like Christ. So his emphasis was we should focus more on how are we being like Christ as opposed to what we are doing for Christ. And that was very profound. And so when I take that and try to expound on that into the life of an everyday person, come out a little bit from the evangelical language to just an everyday person, I interpret that as self care, right? A lot of you out there, you have visions, maybe you making videos on YouTube, maybe you're a pastor, maybe you have this vision to maybe take care of orphans, to take care of homeless people. I want to admonish you and tell you that you would never ever be able to solve all the problems in the world. There's always gonna be one orphan that pops up every day. There's always gonna be new homeless people that are coming up. There's always going to be a new soul that needs to be saved by you as a pastor, right? But we all must practice to take a step back and look at ourselves. How are you doing? How is your mental health? How is your marital life? How effective are you operating as a father to your children? How well are you doing as a husband? What about your financial life? What about your relationships with people around you? We have to make sure we can always stop in life. It's okay to pause on your vision. It's okay to not make that next video. It's okay to not go for that next evangelism trip. It's okay to not go for that next mission trip, and just take out some time, a month, a week, two, or whatever you need to take care of yourself first. Because when you take care of yourself and make sure yourself is doing okay, you realize that you are even going to be a lot effective in operating in your vision. You would be at your best at your vision when your self health is okay, when you practice a lot of self care. So I see this that we shouldn't be caught up in all the visions and all the dreams and all the things we want to aspire to in this life, and we should always give ourselves permission to stop and take care of yourself and then come back to your vision. I hope that little one helps. But what I really want to talk to us about today is three things. I want to talk to us about purpose, vision, and mission. These are three things that I think should drive the life of every successful person. If you want to be successful in this life, your life must be driven by these three things. At the very top of the hierarchy is purpose. Purpose is nothing but What do you want to do with your life? What you want to do with your life? What are you dedicating your life to? For someone, it might be, I'm dedicating my life to putting a smile on the faces of orphans. For another person, you say, my purpose, or I'm going to dedicate my life with trying to build better marriages because maybe there's a marital crisis to coach young couples. For another person, the person is like, my purpose is to reach out and win souls and just dedicate my life to that. So, what is your purpose? And purpose, most of the time, is stagnant. You don't choose your purpose. You discover your purpose because before you come to the world, when God is deploying you into the world, He deploys you with a purpose already. So you are engaging in finding and discovering your purpose. So most of the time, your purpose will remain the same throughout your life. Now, out of your purpose, you have to determine your vision. You have to come up with your vision. Your vision now lies in how do you want to deliver your purpose? Let's take an example that your purpose is to put a smile on the faces of orphans. Now, the question is, how am I going to do this? You can do this by opening an orphanage. You can do this by running a scholarship scheme for orphans. You can do this by mentoring orphans. And there are many ways you can do it. So you can choose one of these. So you can circle down and say, I'm going to put a smile on the face of orphans. I'm going to deliver my purpose of putting smile on the face of orphans by opening orphanages. So that now is your vision. And your vision can change. Maybe the first 5 years, your vision was around opening orphanages. And maybe after 5 years, there are a lot of people who are opening orphanages and you feel like we don't have an orphanage problem anymore. Most orphans have a place to stay. And so you modify your vision to now be let me run scholarship schemes for orphans so they can go to good schools. So you see, your vision can change. Now, when we talk about your mission now is a layer below your vision, which now is much more practical actions that you're going to take to realize your vision. So, your mission helps you to realize your vision, and your vision helps you to realize your purpose. So, your mission, maybe if your purpose is to put a smile on the faces of orphans and your vision is to open orphanages, your mission in 2025 could be to open 20 orphanages in Cameroon. And your mission in 2026 could be to open 20 orphanages now in Nigeria. So your mission is the most fluid of it all. And also, you can modify your mission. And I'll give you an example. Maybe last year, you or all the past years, you've been opening orphanages by going to a locality by yourself, looking for a place to rent, acquire a property, equip it, and do everything from the ground by yourself. But you can modify your mission by saying that, okay, as opposed to me going to begin all the work from the ground up, I am sure there are already some orphanage organizations already in this locality, or maybe there are some 501c organizations, some charitable organizations, some NGOs in that area already who have been opening orphanage. Maybe I can work with them and partner with them so we can open a lot more orphanages and much more better orphanages in that place. So you see, you've made a modification on your mission. Okay. Now I want us to widen the scope of that a little bit. Right. Out there, maybe your own vision. I'm not gonna go again all the layers up to maybe to a purpose. Maybe your vision, you are in your vision, you are a chef. And maybe in 2026, what you've been doing is you take catering contracts, you cook the food, you bring all the chefing dishes and all the equipments, and you set them on and you run everything. And probably you realize that in 2025, there were some people who could not afford your services, and they could not afford your services because it was too expensive. So you might be like, okay, how can I modify my vision this year? Can I add other packages to how I operate as a chef? And maybe there are some people who already have chefing dishes, but they don't want to take on the burden of cooking. But they like your food as a chef. You cook very well. They like the taste of your food, but they want you to just cook the food and come and utilize their own chefing equipments. So you can open up a package for that. I can only cook the food for you. I can bring it to you, and you will think about the displaying of it, right? And that will result maybe to a 40% discount. So you see, that's a modification now in the way you plan to do business in 2026. So you've modified how you will execute your mission in 2026. Maybe you are a realtor. Maybe you are a tax preparer. Maybe you are a pastor. Whatever. It's always important that at the beginning of a year like this, you sit down and ask yourself, what modifications can I make in my mission for this year? We're living in a world that is changing so fast. And so we must also learn to change and adapt as it's going. Think about schools. Let's take an example for maybe Dallas Baptist University. Their purpose probably has never changed. Maybe their purpose has always been what? To educate the local community. That purpose has never changed. And maybe their vision has been to run universities. The vision too has never changed. But their mission or how they execute and run universities has now changed. Today we have online learning where someone can study for an entire degree program without ever going to a campus. But 15 years ago, 10 years ago, online studies wasn't existing. But time changed. COVID came. People could not go to a physical classroom. And so the universities had to adopt. They had to adapt. They had to make changes. And so you cannot also operate in your vision without making changes. I thought to come around after a while to drop a little nugget for us for 2026. I hope this was a blessing to you. If it was, please support me by subscribing, hitting the like icon, and you can also put a comment, on this video and tell me what you liked about it. Just contribute. Thank you, and see you in the next one.